we can't be dicks when we're talking to people, obviously, because you're not going to get the business. So there needs to be a component of understanding and a component of empathy there. But
while still being honest with them.
Yes, but you guys do a great job capturing that emotion with people, which allows us to focus on the hard facts, but not discounting the fact that this is a real emotional experience for a lot of these people. Welcome to episode 342 of the Real Estate Podcast, where Jennifer and I talk about market data to client clarity and how we support our clients.
Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast, your go-to source for raw, unfiltered stories and expert tips. Whether you're a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord, or realtor, join us as we dive into the world of real estate.
There was no on-ramp to that. It was just like, okay, we're ready, Robbie, and the music starts.
Yeah, just throw us right in.
No deep breaths or anything like that.
Never.
All right, so this morning, we had no idea what we were going to talk about.
No idea.
But we came up with a topic that I think has relevance. I think it has significant relevance.
You came up with the topic because...
It's always a team effort.
Appreciate you.
And I was thinking about, you and I do very different things to enhance our client experience, okay? But I think they complement each other very well. I shouldn't say you and I. I mean, the realtors, the front line, us that are, buying and selling the homes for people, we do very different things than yourself and Tiffany do. So what we're going to call it, we had a pretty cool name. What was it? From market data to client clarity.
That's it.
All right. So, when I meet with somebody and, we're fortunate enough or they give us the confidence that says, yes, we want to work with you guys. I go into educate and provide data mode. Okay. So my biggest thing is, I let people know what's happening in the market. I let people know about what's happening in their neighborhood, specifically in the city, provide them with as much data as I can to help them make that, educated decision about what we're going to do. Outside of that, there's a pretty significant emotional component, involved, that we see. And it was actually something that, really surprised me when I started in real estate. Being a business guy and sales marketing guy, I haven't been the most empathetic through the years, but you really have to be now in real estate.
Definitely. It's a huge life-changing moment for a lot of people. And especially if you've lived in a house maybe 30, 40 years, you've raised a family, you've had grandkids there. It's an emotional attachment.
Very softly.
It's my podcast voice.
Jen, you're like the amped up one. You're the energy one. It's your podcast voice.
I should be.
Yeah. So, I think it's a really, really good kind of 1-2 punch. How we have, because you really get to know people. Once we've kind of said go and we've signed people up and we start executing on what we're going to do with people. What's involved? Like, how do you form that bond with people?
I think attitude is a huge component of it. I've been in customer service my whole life, so I know what I want when I'm speaking to someone in customer service, and I like to ensure that our clients get that. I'm very much you get what you see kind of a person. I'm usually really happy. I'm usually in a really good mood.
Drives me nuts, actually.
I know. I'm the bane of your existence first thing in the morning.
Why are you so happy?
I love my coffee, I swear. Yeah. But I like people to get a great experience. I think that's what we're here for. And while you guys provide that market data, like you were saying, and you provide the information behind the scenes, and then we come in with the customer service side that kind of ties the whole thing together. Yeah. And all of us combined, I think we do a really good job of giving our clients the whole package, as opposed to this realtor has this part about them, or they do this really well, or just that really well. We have a team aspect and all of us bring a little bit, and then together we make it just this incredible, offerance of what we do. Offerance. I didn't know. I have no word for it.
That's a new word, offerance.
Offerance. I don't even know how to describe it. We come together and we provide this in this extremely valuable opportunity for people. A lot of agents, while they do certain components, the way we tie it in together, we do things as a team. It's not on an individual level. We all work together really, really well. And I think that's what kind of sets us that much farther than everybody else.
That actually just jumped into my head when you were talking, specifically about how you form the bond with people. We can't be dicks when we're talking to people, obviously, because you're not going to get the business. So there needs to be a component of understanding and a component of empathy there. But
while still being honest with them.
Yes. But you and Tiff, I don't want to exclude Tiffany because she's not sitting here. You guys do a great job capturing that emotion with people, which allows us to focus on the hard things. So not the hard things, but the hard facts. So for example, the data, what's happening in the market, the selling, the negotiation, but not discounting the fact that this is a real emotional experience for a lot of these people. To your point, somebody who's lived in a home for 30 some odd years, selling is tough. But at the end of the day, you've hired me to sell your home.
Right.
Not to listen to the sob story, and very, very important. Don't want to discount it, but it's nice to know that there's somebody who can do that.
Yeah.
So you and Tiff, you guys do a great job with handling all the vendors. So the executing the stuff that gets our listings look as fantastic as they do. Things like cleaners, things like stagers, okay, things like handyman if we need them.
Yeah.
Leading up to which allows you to really correspond a lot with our clients. How do you manage all that? Because that's the part I love about being on the team. I don't have to do that. That part would drive me bananas. Managing people drives me crazy. I did it for years. It's nice to be able to sell. It's nice to be able to market a home. So what tricks do you have to do it so well?
Well, us doing what we do allows you guys to do what you do best. And that's getting your market data, getting the evaluations, preparing for the sale of a home, one of the biggest investments that your clients have in their lives. So us doing that part allows you to focus on your part, which is extremely important. I take a lot of notes. I will write everything down because I have to. I'm getting old now and nothing will stick. So I have to make 100 notes.
Let's not go there.
It's true though. I have to make notes and I'm and especially when you've got multiple properties going, sometimes I'm in the midst of coordinating 4, 5, 6 properties at once. And
we had a busy first few months of the year. Right?
Yeah.
That was bananas.
It can get pretty crazy. And then coordinating one property, one stager, the stager, these people, those people, it can get really overwhelming. So I generally like to just sit and focus on it and just bang them out one at a time.
But what's amazing about you and Tiffany, you and I were just talking this morning about clients I was dealing with 2 or 3 years ago, and you remember little details. That's fascinating to me that you have that kind of memory, and it speaks to how much you care for people. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
And the notes, and
you couldn't have referred to the notes this morning when I threw a couple names at you.
That's true. That's true. You do build a bond with people, from the first call to introducing myself, after when I'm coordinating a staging consult as an example, after you've had your conversation, they've signed on with you, they've got that agreement with you now. And then we come in and we introduce ourselves and what we do, and that we'll be coordinating. My goal for our clients is for them to feel like they're part of the family. I want them to know that they can trust us. Because that was a huge thing for me. I've said it many times and I'll say it over and over again. We used the guys when we first bought our home, and I would never have it any other way because I trusted them. I would never refer somebody if I didn't trust them off the bat, and everybody on the team is spectacular. It's
funny you say that because with friends, and if I get there with clients, which a lot of times I do, it often comes up that they trust us. They trust the people that we've got in our company. And one of the things that frustrates me about being a realtor is other realtors. That's a whole other podcast, but the fact that we're honest, we're straightforward, we're transparent. We won't take a listing if we don't think we can knock it out of the park. I think all of us have probably been in that situation. And it extends beyond just the salespeople and brokers. It extends to the entire team, the media guys, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's cool about when your phone rings now? Likely fraud.
That's the best. I'm ignore, block and delete.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Having that bond with your clients and knowing that and letting them know that they can trust you. It's hard for people. Like I mentioned earlier, when you've owned the home for 30 years and now you've got all these strangers coming into your home, you want to know that you can trust these people that you're allowing into your home with nobody home.
But also letting people understand that we have their back.
100%.
And at the end of the day, this is a business transaction for you. This is transactional, and we're very motivated to do the best for you that we can. But along the way, we'll also provide that empathy, support, that emotion that you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
At various levels.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm not the best at it, you guys are fantastic at it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that very much.
So another question for you.
Yes, sir.
As we see all the time, I mean, I've been actually blindsided a couple of times where people throughout the whole process, they're cool as a cucumber. They're really, really good to go. But you see the anxiety and the intention or the intensity of their emotion ramp up a day or two before we actually go live. It's like, holy shit, this is getting real, all of a sudden. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that call the day before? Like, oh my God, I feel like my world's falling apart. Am I making the right decision? Stuff like that.
Take a deep breath.
What do you guys do? Is that what you say to people?
Yeah. I'm like, take a deep breath. I'm like, relax. We're here to help you. What can I do to help you?
Exactly.
What can I do? Like, that's my first thing. What can I do to make you not stress out? We've had different situations where clients have maybe been in the midst of losing a pet right before selling.
A pet?
Yeah. Like I remember one client, they had to, it was literally photo day, and her pet was extremely sick out of nowhere, and she had to put them down that day. Yeah. And it was the day of photos, and she was a mess.
Careful, Jen. I know you're a pet person.
Oh God, I know. And it broke my heart. So, I'm very empathetic to that. And I wanted to make it as seamless and as easy as I could for that person. Yeah. Because it's what we do. And I would want the same thing.
Things like that, though, I mean, to talk specifically about pet or something that happens just before.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I mean, there's a couple, one thing that we outsource, but for the rest, we pretty much do it in-house. So we can pivot really quickly.
100%.
The fact that we have a media department, so if something's happened, someone says, I just can't do it today, we can bump it a day or two, just to help that. We don't like to do that, but in certain circumstances, the fact that it's in-house, we can do that.
If it is a circumstance that's absolutely beyond their control and, something, and you know what, shit happens. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, life happens, and, you kind of have to roll with it. So we do. I mean, it's not ideal, but, if you have to make a couple of adjustments, you make a couple of adjustments. And if that's going to make them happy or, take away that one less stress, I'll do that for them, and I'll do whatever I can to make it work.
And what's really cool, I mean, we're big on Google reviews and stuff like that. I've thought this after every comment that you've made. Even though we're doing the sale and the buy or whatever it is, whenever people do reviews, it's always the team. It's always me or one of my colleagues and you or Tiffany. Like it's the KT team.
Absolutely.
Which I think really speaks to the job that everybody does at every step along the way.
Which is super cool, because the fact that they acknowledge the fact that it's the whole team, while the agent themselves representing them does a fabulous job and works super, super hard. The fact that they recognize and understand that, there's a whole team behind you too that's there to support you and give you whatever you need to help. It speaks volumes.
That's actually a big part of my listing conversation that I have with people. I speak to the team dynamic. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some individual agents, especially local agents, that do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But team provides depth. So for example, if somebody's not well or if somebody can't, you've got somebody who can step in. Somebody goes on vacation. You've got you and Tiffany that can play off each other. You've got Ian and Robbie that can back each other up. A lot to be said about the depth of working with a team like us, like KT.
It's the same thing that I've always said. We're a family. Yeah. You guys are my second family, each and every single one of you. Like, I love all of you guys. And
me the most, probably.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. You're like top up there.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we have each other and we have the trust in each other, the respect for each other, and we work really, really well together. It's absolutely rare that I will ever hear someone say no. Yeah. Like, no problem, I'll be there to help you.
It's funny actually that just as you were saying that, it popped into my head. So the scope of what you guys do expands beyond just the clients. I mean, what a lot of people don't know is, yes, we do the paperwork and stuff like that, but it's you and Tiff that keep us in check. Okay. So it's you guys that, we'll get that text 2 or 3 days before. Where's your paperwork? Have you done this? Have you done that? Are you missing this? Are you missing that?
Tiffany is great with that.
What's that? You both are. What's that like for you guys? Because I mean, what is there now? 9, 10 of us?
Yeah.
Ages? That's pretty tricky to manage.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you get the whole spectrum.
Oh yeah, wide spectrum.
Some that are great with paperwork, some that not so much.
Yeah, and you know what? There's always like certain situations that things will come up that maybe someone doesn't know.
Political correct again. Yeah.
I try. It's because I love you guys. Yeah. So, I mean, to each their own. I mean, there's always going to be errors, those little square boxes on those data sheets. It's really easy to click one below. And, when we've been in the house, when we've seen certain things, we're able to kind of be like, that's wrong. And we can adjust it on our end.
That's actually a great point that I think we're able to provide, given that there's so many touch points from various points in what we offer.
You got multiple eyes watching things.
Most people see the house, you know, you guys go in and do the pre-photo prep, you know,
And
you're
everybody
often going
comes.
in before. A lot of people come, most people come. And if they don't come during that day, they make a point of going to see it before I almost said product, the property gets listed.
Yeah. Or during marketing day if they're not able to.
Yeah.
Like how many times someone's like, you know what, I have an appointment this morning. I can't make it to prep, but can I join you for marketing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. No problem.
So important because you can catch things or you can speak to things or you can provide feedback or pushback, you know, when need be. So,
especially during prep, because that's where sometimes we can catch last minute things where you can be like, hey, just so you know, I caught this, chat with your sellers about it just in case you didn't see it, which is nice to have like 8 different set of eyes like helping you out. You know, it's nice.
I speak to that all the time, especially when it comes to like pricing a home and stuff like that. You know, I'm often consulting with, and I know all of us are, all the agents, with our colleagues. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like just playing devil's advocate internally, which helps. And, you know, you guys form such a great relationship with the clients. Sometimes they're going to tell you things or, you know, little things that they haven't disclosed to us, probably not deliberately, but it just comes up organically through a conversation with you guys that you can say, hey, this so-and-so told me that, this, whatever, which helps us tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if there's a concern that they're trying to nip and, you know, they're like, I don't know if I should bring it up. I'm like, you know what? Let me sit on it. Let me deal with it. We'll figure it out. We'll get back to you.
For sure.
It's always trying to figure out a solution. You know, there's never a problem. There's only solutions. You just got to figure out what it is sometimes.
I hear you.
Which is fine.
I love that. What a great way to end. There's no problems. There are only solutions.
Only solutions, my friend.
What I've said for years actually is every situation or problem is an opportunity for improvement.
100%. And Adrian said it for a few times as well. And I couldn't agree with you guys more.
I'm older than him, so don't say he said it first.
No, he didn't say it first. He stole it from you.
Yeah, exactly. But what's interesting is, you know, you hear everybody all the time when they're doing well, everything is great. Like when homes are selling before the dirt even settles on the sign and so everybody's a rock star. But I think where you can tell, well, I know, not think, the good agents, the good people, the good whatever, it's when times are tough. Okay. That's when people go above and beyond and they do the extra things. Okay. That person who's just cashing a paycheck doesn't do. And I think we do a really good job of that.
And that's the difference with us. It's, you know, it's not necessarily just a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, we're building that bond. We want you to be a client. We want you to be part of the family. We want you to come to events and enjoy time with us. And, you know, you're part of the family.
It's again, funny you said that because that is part of my listing conversation as well. And, you know, I've fine-tuned the way that I say it, but because I don't want it to come across as curt or cold, but I often say to people, you know, I don't just want this transaction from you. You know, I want to knock it out of the park so that when you think real estate for your friends, for your family, for your kids, you're going to think about me. So as great and as grateful as I am about this transaction, it doesn't stop here. Okay. Which I think is a difference between us because we think more about the relationship versus the transaction.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Relationship. Like you
that
call everybody
good,
to say happy
relationship versus transaction. Damn. I'm going to write that shit down.
You're so smart, Steve.
Yeah. Awesome. But, anything else?
No, I think you got it all.
We got it all.
Yeah, we got it all. We got it all.
Team effort. However long talking about team, and it's we. For
we,
sure.
Absolutely. It's always we. Cool. Always we. Awesome. Always a pleasure.
You too, Jen.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Podcast. Please like or subscribe, or of course, post any questions you'd like some answers on.